Record. Here we go. It's ringing. Hello. Yo.
Hey, Ian.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's Colin with Pulp. You ready for us?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. We have John Anderson with W and Danny Blair in studio with us.
Excellent.
All right, cool. I'm going to send you over receipts.
All right, cool. Sounds good, man.
Yep, thanks.
Yep.
And we're going to sure. Sketchy. Hey, one thing I bring up. Yep. You know, we're sitting here talking, good conversation, and I cannot help but look at Ronnie Lachine and that mustache. Is that creepy or what? Yeah, and then they brought it back this year. Anderson had one for a little, Marv had one, and you're on board with that? I think they should have let. I mean, if you're gonna run like a snake dog or an AP, like you're trying to look like Captain Cook, that's cool. But that one's creepy. Yeah, if that came anywhere near my daughter, I call him. That guy came around a lot of daughters. Yeah, that's cool.
Yo.
That man right there. Yeah. El Cajon High. Hey, our next guest on the show. So, for people who don't know, Ian Trettel is a very, very good amateur rider, a Red title, and Trettel, the Rockstar Suzuki team, finished fifth at the opening round of Supercross. The next week, he had a crash that had a career-ending effect on him. Spent raced three nationals, three pro races before he was forced to call it quits. It's a really tragic story. But Ian is on the show, and we're looking forward to talking to him about that, what he's doing now, and much more. So please thanks for coming on. I appreciate you reaching out. I've never spoken to you before. Obviously, in the focus, your career didn't last so long. I didn't go to the amateurs, but I certainly, Ian, heard of you coming up and your great amateur career.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always followed your stuff too, man. So I've definitely seen you around before. But I mean, I kind of was with a lot of the guys that are kind of dominating right now coming through the amateur ring. So I kind of had a presence during my amateur career.
Yeah, Justin Barstow, Jason Anderson, those are all guys you raced to beat at times, huh?
Yeah, I mean, me and Jason both raced our first rookie race together. So I mean, we raced each other pretty much our entire career from 80s all the way through big bikes.
Right. Ian Trettel on the show tonight brought to you by Vortex Racing. Dylan Ferrandis, AP, and everybody's Star Yamaha using the Vortex Racing sprockets. They got the V3 bar, 29% stronger than the competition. If you want to deal on sprockets or bars from the folks at Vortex, email Kyle at vortexracing.com. Please check them out. Mention Pulp-MX. You can stay with those guys. Thanks to the folks at Vortex Racing for coming on. So, Ian, what are you doing nowadays? How's life?
Man, life is great, man. So like, I'm just making the best of a bad situation, man. So like, all the stuff I went through, right? Like, I had this incredible amateur career. Like, I mean, incredible subjective. I mean, like, I felt like it was a success. I did very well as an amateur. And as going to my pro career, I did okay. I thought I could have done better had I had more time to get dialed in. But I mean, I top 10 my first pro outdoor national, and I top 5 my first Supercross. And so like, I was definitely moving in the right direction. It was just a matter of time before I could figure it out. Then I had this tragic injury that kind of took me out. But I've been able to kind of use. It almost feels like like going through something as bad as I went through. Like, I was almost built for it at the same time. Like, when I was 13, I was getting these injuries, and I was flying to see Dr. Ting out in Fremont, and I was living in Northern California doing rehab and working with some of like the baddest dudes in therapy and learning all about like the anatomy of the body. So like, I was prepared for all this stuff, man. So like, when this all went down, like, I just had to put my head down and work through this crazy injury that, like, obviously I couldn't ride anymore, but I just kind of like looked at it like I did motocross and just kind of like powered through with a positive attitude. And like, it took me a solid like 2.5, 3 years before I was able to kind of get back to start doing something again, like to kind of restart again. But that was really tough to kind of restart and get going again. But it was just like, in my mind, what I did with motocross was just something that I kind of stuck with. And that's I kind of felt it was more of a mindset in the way that I succeeded in motocross. So I was like, I'm just going to take that and do it with something else. So I've just been kind of trying to find that next niche. And so I've been having a lot of fun with, I learned all these crazy things going through what I went through with a head injury, man. Like, I've worked with all the, rehabbing the brain. You're pretty much making new connections, and it's like you're building new skills every time you make a new brain connection. And so I started thinking about the way that I was training racing versus with this injury, and I was like, oh shit, dude, like, there's all these cool tricks. And like, I immediately started thinking about riding when I was going through this stuff. And so when I started getting back out on the track, I started kind of training guys and I started focusing more on just like meant the mindset and kind of like how to approach kind of racing. And I was like, dude, honestly, everyone starts in the same place. It's just a matter of like who can kind of like, and we see this too in the pro ranks. Like, guys who are just better at losing than others. Like people who just are, they're just warriors. And so I was like, I always tell guys, I'm like, if you can learn how to lose, you want like that's the best way to get better, just because you're not gonna win when you first start out. You're gonna have to learn how to lose. And so I started like figuring out these weird just kind of mindset hacks, and I started applying them. And like I would teach these guys, and they would get better just through like weird sports psychology. And I think this stuff's already being done in football and basketball, like on a high level. So it's just like I just been kind of playing around with that, and that's kind of been fun to as a passion project of mine. Just I enjoy helping people in that sort of way. Like it's a different kind of training. Like I don't. Of course, there's like your practical like technique and stuff, but I'm doing stuff that's way different that I think is really cool.
That is cool, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and Daniel knows, it's such a mental game. This sport is such a mental game at times. I mean, I was a mechanic for a long time.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, Chad, someone like Chad Reed, I watched him have shitty practices over and over at a race day. And then when the lights came on, the dude found 2 seconds, right? That's how these guys work, some of these guys. And the reverse is true, where someone's blazing fast and they just can't put it together. It is such a mental game.
I mean, look at it. I mean, look at the pros right now. I mean, like any of you guys can see, like you guys can see this for yourself. I mean, like look at the guys who are having the most fun. Like most of the guys who are doing the best, man. Like people, it's like you got to kind of find that even. You got to find that natural. Like if you go too hard, it's going to burn out. And like you remember these. You've seen these horror stories of people that went pro and got burnt out too quick, and the parents got involved. That just was a bad story. And I'm just like, you got to keep it fun. And like I think if you're having fun, you're going to be the best you're going to be anyways, right? But it just seems like some of these guys who are kind of having that right combination of fun and training hard are doing better than others, man.
So physically, where are you at now? How's your motor function? How are you getting around?
So like, man, like when I crashed at Daytona, I endoed in the second practice, and it was basically like a bad concussion. And I injured something called the right basal ganglia, which affected mostly all of my left side motor skills. So like primarily my left hand, like my finger dexterity in my left hand is not there or where it was. I still can use it, but it's just like it's not as functional as it was before. And my left leg, I have a limp, but I get around. And like, I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, I'm not. I still can do anything. I still can road bike, and I can do stuff. It just I'm limited. Obviously, I'm injured, so it's just it's whatever. But I mean, I'm getting around, so I'm okay, man. It's no big deal.
Have you seen any progress in the years, or is progress stopped for you?
No. I'm progressing all the time. It's just slow, dude. It's just very slow. It's just like it's more of like a skill. So like I'm working out. My little brother Gavin. I don't know if you've heard of him before, but he was also a great racer as well, and he won some championships. But like he's really into fitness too, and so him and I work out a lot. So I continue my therapy on my own, just kind of doing my own research and stuff.
Right.
But at this point, it's just a matter of just training. I live in Elon, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you remember from the crash? Do you remember much? How bad was it?
I remember. So like, dude, it gets super fuzzy. So like these memories kind of feel like dreams you had like 2 nights ago. So I remember going to the airport with Johnny Louch, who I was training with at the time, and me and him flew. And I remember like we seen Dirt Shark on the plane, and he was sat beside us. So I remember flying. My mom picked us up. It was like Easter. It was around Easter. So mom had some Easter candy with there making fun of me. I went to the hotel. Next morning we go down to practice. I got picked up some passes for some friends. I seen Lichtel there. I remember like doing the first practice. I remember getting in behind. I distinctly remember getting behind Baggett and Wilson and Barcia because I remember them being good there previously, so I wanted to follow their line. So I remember getting behind them, and I remember like I was actually riding really well that day. I was already qualified 5th before I even crashed. And I remember like the track being super sketchy just because it was just like weird. I never rode an outdoor supercross track before, so I remember my bike handling like shit, and so that was weird. And then at some point, I was in Georgia and I was freaking I knew something bad happened. So that's about it, dude. Like it just kind of merges through, man. It's just like really slow. There's no like cut to, oh shit, I'm in Georgia, dude. It's just like you kind of slowly wake up and realize what's going on. But it took several months before I kind of realized what happened, dude.
Yeah, I bet. I bet it was scary moments for you, right? Early on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just confusing, man. I mean, because there was no like initial shock, man. Like I always knew I'd be. I mean, I always like just the way my mind works. Like I've always been a optimistic person, so like I've never been someone to give up because I've had I had a lot of injuries over my amateur career too, and so I've always used to like kind of just taking losses sometimes and just figuring it out. So I was like, I never really went into panic, but I kind of just said, I'll figure it out. Like it'll be good. I just like kind of assume things will be fine until they're not. It's kind of been my approach. Because I mean, like, why stress about it, dude? Like, imagine knowing that was going to happen 20 years ago. Like, you would be freaking out every single day. Like, you might as well just like live in the moment when it happens. Figure it out, dude. Like keep your body and mind in good shape, and the rest will come. Like, you'll figure it out if you're good enough, man.
Still keep in touch with like Bobby Hewitt or other people that you?
I do, man. Yeah, I do. I still talk to Tickle and like Wes Williams from Verb every once in a while. And like if I go to a track, I'll stop and see all my guys. But just like as far as like day-to-day conversations, yeah, every once in a while I hit someone up. But it just when I go to a race, I normally reconnect with everybody. But I've been kind of trying to resurface lately. I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff I've been posting. I've been trying to do some like different type of like I've been trying to bring in some more like kind of like you ever watch like unboxing videos on like tech products?
On what?
On like a tech product, like just like a really you know what I'm talking about, like a clean like tech review, like but with motocross. I kind of want to break down some like really technical things that are going on that people may not see, kind of like science of supercross, but like in a nerdier way, where guys can like learn stuff, but also be like, oh shit, I didn't even see that. Where like someone who didn't even watch motocross can understand it, but someone who does ride might be able to figure it out on their own too if they tried it.
Right. No, that's cool. Yeah, I watched a couple of videos on your Instagram. You look like you're pretty good social follow. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm trying to just kind of you know how motocross is. You got to resurface, dude. Like I'm not the same as I was anymore. Like you know, so you got to resurface and kind of get out there again. So I've been trying to put out some content and have some fun with it. You know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Ian Trettel here, brought to you by Vortex Racing. Email Kyle at vortexracing.com.
Ian, this is Daniel Blair. I just actually got a text from Jacob Hayes. He says you're an effing legend, and he used to watch you slap Tomac Anderson and Barsha around.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, man.
I think he's a little younger than you, but he said
no, dude. Yeah, me and Jacob raced all the time here, like locally in North Carolina. Yeah, so I've known Jacob for a while, dude.
No,
that's great. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Have you ridden the dirt bike since your accident? Like even putting around?
I rode a pit bike, dude, but honestly, it scares me, man. I know that sounds lame, but dude, I'm telling you, like, there's nothing you can do. But I think it's just like your brain just like puts you in defense mode, and so I don't even like going fast anymore in a car. Like, it's just, I mean, but what do you expect, dude? Like that whole thing was so traumatic, and like everyone that I put through, I'm just like, dude, I'm so over it, man. It's hard to put into words, guys, but like it's a weird thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Ian Trettel here on the show again. So, who was Anderson? Would you say was like your best rival, or was it Tomac? Like,
no, it was Tomac and Barsha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Tomac, Barsha, and Baggett. Tomac, Barsha, and Baggett were the three.
I think at Oak Hill, maybe B class.
Yeah, Anderson was a year below us, but he was still he was kind of there every once in a while. And then by the end of the amateurs, we were all together. But it was kind of like us four bouncing around, you know.
At iTrettel, ITRETTEL on Instagram.
That's right, yeah.
Ian, everybody, check it out.
Hey, Ian, since you're talking about the mental side of things and just that approach, I mean, what do you think of Cooper Webb? Just seeing the way he kind of handles things, late race, late championship. I mean, obviously another North Carolina guy, so I'm sure there's some connection there. But on the mental side of things, what's your kind of thoughts on the way he approaches things? Because obviously it's where his dad is strongest.
Dude, I think Cooper is he's a warrior, man. And I think the way if you look at his I watched Cooper and Adam race my entire career because they were a few classes below me, and Cooper got beat all the time, dude. And I think that just I think that made him so strong. So when you see him in the back of the pack, you just know he has no problem being around guys. He's used to it. So I think that's his strong. So I think he's used to losing, so he's not scared to like he's not scared to mix it up. So he's super strong mentally. I think it's one of his. That's why he's such a great racer, dude.
Is that kind of what you're saying there when you talk about learning how to lose?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think so, man.
That makes sense because again, he did. I mean, Steve, we know the story. Adam was kind of more the guy. Cooper was good too.
Yeah.
But Cooper like really learned. And from what I understand, Ian, tell me if this is true. I learned that Cooper would. He has great racecraft. He had to pass a lot, so he was really coming to the field, and he kind of learned the art of passing, where he wasn't out front checked out all the time. Is that kind of true? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. Cooper, I never seen Cooper beat Adam ever. He always was like second and third. He always was sort of like he was always like coming up, but he never got a good start. So he was always in the back, kind of like working his way up, and he always had this people just never kind of was up front. He was always working his way through.
Ian Trettel on the show tonight. You follow the races? You watch them all?
Oh yeah, of course, man. I'm watching every single one, dude.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, you're doing. So that leads my next question, and I think I know the answer to this based on kind of what you're doing and what you're working with. But I mean, do you have those nights where you're kind of bitter, you're upset, you're pissed? Well, what could have been? What should have been? I mean, literally your second Supercross ever. You know, you go down after getting a fifth. Like for sure. I don't blame you if you had some late nights where you just were like mad at the world.
I mean, yeah, of course, but I mean, who doesn't? I mean, like like on that same card though, things could have been a lot better, and they also could have been a lot worse, man. So it's like, you know, you gotta look at both sides. Like, I mean, just think about like, I mean, I said I hurt the right side of my brain, which affects my left side. I'm right-handed, dude, so that's pretty lucky. I mean, if it was the other side, I'd be so screwed, dude. Like having no dominant hand, that would suck so bad.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, right off the bat, like, you're already lucky. So it's like you're already winning. You know, like, if you look at things like that way, that's how I choose to look at it.
Right. So, Ian, this is John with W. You're from North Carolina?
I am. Yeah, I grew up here.
So, do you have memories of Zach Osborne growing up?
Yeah, man. Yes, dude. I race Zach all the time at camp at Sand Hills, which is now like known as Pulp-MX, but. I raced with Zach all the time. I watched him race Super Mini class with like Austin Stroop and Brock Tickle a lot. Yeah.
So who's the guy that you kind of look at today that you enjoy watching race, or somebody you might pull for?
I really like watching. I like a lot of the European riders too. I think like but like someone that we're watching now. Like I really like the way Sexton rides, and I like the way that I like the way I still like the way Fernandez rides, so I think he's going to come through at some point. I think it'll take a while, but I think he will at some point.
He's fun to watch.
You know, talking about the mental side of things, it's funny because in Supercross he's great to watch. He's aggressive and he's really aggressive, but he's had some amazing rides, Ian, when he's out of the race, when he crashes early or he's way back. He's had some amazing rides, and then other times he'll be up front and he'll make a mistake or get shuffled back quickly. And mentally, I think when he has no pressure on him, we see what he can do in Supercross. Now, he'll learn from this. He'll get better, I have no doubt. But that's the guy that I think, you know, mentally, when he gets up front, he's like, he locks up a little bit. Doesn't ride like we've seen him can from the back.
Well, I think, like, I'm looking more at, like, the person as a rider and not just the results. Like, you know, like, when I'm looking at Fernandez ride, like, he knows how to ride. I think he's going to fit. I think it's a new team. It's a new bike. It's a new freaking country. Like it took Purcell a while to get dialed in too. Like and Roxon. Like remember Roxon's first year. Like he struggled real bad, dude. Even like as an amateur, he was doing terrible. So like don't count him out just yet. Like he could easily turn it around and be like super dominant. I think within the next few years if he gets things kind of in the right flow. I think.
Right. Yeah. No. I agree. Certainly, you know, double championships and everything else.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good. So. Well, man, hey, thanks for calling in. Thanks for checking in. Glad you're doing well. It sounds like you're doing as well as anybody can, you know, for what you're doing and what you're putting out there. So, man, it's good to hear your voice, and I'm glad to get you on and update our listeners on Ian Trettel, who, like I said, for some people, they're just like, man, I hope Ian Trettel's doing well, and it sounds like you are. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Like, I'd love to come back on any other time you find it relative. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it down the road a little bit, man. Thanks for doing it. Maybe if you're ever in Vegas, you can come in and co-host the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome, guys. Okay, cool. Let's talk soon.
Yeah, sounds good, Ian. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, guys. Talk soon.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude. How'd we do, guys? I think we did good.